Senator Cortez Masto.
Thank you. I appreciate the comments for everyone and the uniqueness of the hearing today. Ms. Locklear, let me ask you this. There's two ways to get this recognition. We've talked about that. One is through Congress. You've talked about that.
Yes.
And then the other is through the DOI and the Office of Federal Acknowledgement. Am I hearing today that we should eliminate the Office of Federal Acknowledgement and just rely on Congress to do this in the future?
Not at all. Not at all.
So what do you have any concerns with the Office of Federal Acknowledgement and how the process plays out?
Historically, we have, and we have expressed those along with other non-federally recognized tribes in various
But I'm
forms.
saying now, right now, not historically, now.
It is
because I'm
greatly
here now,
improved.
and we need to address this. Are there any concerns that you have with the office right now?
It has greatly improved as a result of the changed regulations in 2015.
Okay, so can I just say, Chairman Lowery, what's to stop you? It sounds like you have the support of the administration, you have the support of DOI. What's to stop you from going through that process now and getting what you're seeking, but go through an evidence-based process to address some of the concerns that we've heard from the other tribes?
Yes, ma'am. Although there has been changes to the BIA process, we still do not know if it's going to take 20 to 30 years, just like it already does. And I don't want my people waiting another 30 years to go through the process. And then once there has been a rendering done by BIA, there will be opponents who can then bring forth a lawsuit. And I have no doubt that Eastern Band of Cherokee 30 years from now will bring forth a lawsuit that will take us into another 10 to 20 years. And then 50 years from now, my grandson will be sitting here doing the same thing.
So the concern is that there would be a lawsuit to any decision that was made by
Absolutely, and the concern is how many decades is it going to take? So I think Congress really needs to take a look at the BIA process. I don't know any other government program that takes
Chairman, let me
20 to
ask you this,
30
and maybe,
years to come to a
Ms.
conclusion.
Locklear, let me ask you, because does the process, is that part of the problem? Do we need to look at the OFA and say this process is taking 30 years? It's too long?
Frankly,
Do we need to address this in Congress?
that may be the case, Senator.
Is that true?
At this point, we don't have enough experience with how the new regulations will be administered to give a full answer to that question.
So there's new regulations now that the tribe has not gone through, so you don't know how long it would take. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay. So let me ask you, both Chief Hicks and Chief Barnes, you talked about this. Let me just say, I understand the two ways to do this. One's through Congress, but you got to get the votes of the members of Congress. No guarantee you're going to get that. But there's also an evidence-based approach. I'm not in a position to look out in the audience and like some of my colleagues to say who is a member and who isn't. Just like I'm not in a position, and I don't think I should be looking out in my community and saying just because you have brown skin, you're undocumented. Yeah. So there has to be an evidence-based approach. And that's why it wasn't created in Congress. But if it's not working, I would want to know, because that's not fair. But we need to hear that conversation. And so let me ask both Chief Barnes as well as Chief Hicks. Talk to me about this evidence-based approach and why it is so important that the administration have a process like this.
If I may, Senator, and thank you for that question, I'll give an example of one that did take a considerably shorter time, was Little Shell Tribe, where Little Shell was denied at OFA, and then they went through a congressional process. Indian country decried that and said, no, you got this one wrong. The Chippewas came together and says, no, we've got this one, you got this one wrong. This one is a tribal nation. And historically, because of a technicality on Little Shell is a tribal nation. So that is one of those instances where the OFA process, even though it's flawed, and I don't know of any federal institution that's perfect at this time. Even though the OFA is not perfect, it still yielded some results on behalf of Little Shell, which ultimately did tribal nations come together and say on their behalf, look at the evidence, and this technicality should not keep Little Shell from being a tribe. All we ask is they follow the same path as Little Shell, go through the OFA process.
Okay. Chief Hicks, anything else to add to the
just,
process?
I do feel, as I responded earlier, is that, the OFA is, it's without question uniquely equipped to critically evaluate, all the related criteria. And there's several criteria that come into play, based on the claims. And, having skilled highly skilled and professional, experienced folks to be able to do that, I think is critical. But I do want to just respond to the other question around the OFA process. We have openly supported the expedited approach, for this group to go through this process in more than one scenario. And we still feel that there is an opportunity to not extend this 20 or 30 years, that it's something well short of that, to do this evaluation properly and to get the answer that is being sought in a timely manner. And again, publicly, we support that, and we think that it is a good decision point.
So you would support, if they were to go through that process, you would work with them to say this needs to be expedited by the administration, we want something in a timely fashion?
Without question.
And would, well, let me stop there. I know my time is up. Madam Chairwoman, thank you.